Hi, my name is Dorothy Bauer. I'm a piano and voice teacher. I'm going to do a video today on breathing. So I'm a person who, back in college, a long time ago, when I was studying voice, I had a really hard time learning to get a supported breath. And took me a long time. I did it through trial and error. I want to share what I learned along the way. So I'm going to do three videos. The first video is going to be on the diaphragm breath. Everybody talks about the diaphragm breath. If you take singing lessons, you're going to learn the diaphragm breath. It's very common. But my videos, I'm going to cover the diaphragm breath. It is the first part of learning to breathe. But I'm also going to talk about your pelvic floor. The second video will talk about the pelvic floor and how that plays into getting a good singer's breath or woodwind player's breath. And then I'm going to talk about the intercostals and the back muscles and your chest cavity, filling your chest cavity. So that'll be the third video. So the first part of learning to sing, getting a singer's breath, is learning about the diaphragm breath. So the diaphragm is a dome-shaped muscle that rests at the bottom of the rib cage. So when you breathe in, the muscle lowers. And when you breathe out, the muscle raises. And so when your diaphragm lowers, it pushes out your stomach. And when you breathe out and the diaphragm raises, your stomach goes back in again. So if you're disconnected from your diaphragm, your chest will go up and down. You're disconnected, you're not doing a diaphragm breath, you're just going to go. You're just going to be breathing in and raising and lowering your chest. That's an unsupported breath. So the first step in learning to breathe is to learn to, when you breathe in, your stomach protrudes, and when you breathe out, your stomach goes back in. It's also important to understand what your muscles are doing. It's a different initiation of the breath, or if you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to push my stomach out and push it back in. That's different than if you're thinking about this dome-shaped muscle that descends. That's the action that is happening, and it just happens to push your stomach out and back in. So just breathe in, breathe out. And your chest is totally static. It doesn't move. There's a couple methods you can use to really get the hang of a diaphragm breath. You can put your hands on your stomach like I just did and just feel the motion as when you breathe in, your stomach goes out. When you breathe back out, your stomach goes back in. You can also lay on the ground, on the floor, and put a pillow behind your head and just put a book on your stomach and just practice raising and lowering the book. Again, being aware of what the muscles are doing. Take a lot of time. If you need to take a month or 2 months or 3 months, take as much time as you need, and really get step one down before you move on. Like learning to sing, breathing is a long journey. It's something that you should incorporate into your weekly lessons or your weekly study of voice if you're doing it on your own. Just every time before you start to sing, just practice your breathing. Practice your breathing when you're laying in bed at night before you go to sleep. Just get to know your body. I hope that you join me in the second video about the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor, you initiate your breath from the pelvic floor. It's immensely important to becoming a good singer, understanding the pelvic floor. So please join me in the next video. If you found this content helpful, then be sure to tune in to the next video on the pelvic floor. or visit my website at www.dorothybauerpianovoice.com. I've written an article on breathing. You can download it from there. Subscribe to my channel if you like, and click on the bell to be notified about future videos.